Ariana. How are you guys?
Hi, nice to meet you, Ariana.
Hey.
Great.
So, how did you guys even come up with the idea for the show?
Well, at the time that we were developing an idea together, it was just me and Seth at the time, and um, I was Succession was like, I've said this before, but like I'm very proud to go on the record and say like I was a fan of that show from like the pilot, like I was in like and before it became the phenomenon that it is. And I was such a fan of the show, and I remember just coming into the office one day and like being like, what if you made a show about a company, but like it was just a nonsensical crap company that nobody cared about, but you treated it like the characters treated it with such a covet, like it's something so coveted to them and with such intensity that they're just fighting for. It was just that kind of which could be like a sketch, right, on SNL. So it doesn't have a whole lot of meat on it comedically. That which is why the show like, eventually grew out of that and became its own kind of gained its own identity and its own kind of voice. But yeah, that was just the springboard, is just like an animated Succession, because it was just a clean kind of way to like sell the show. Like and then once it was like, okay, now that we have a show, like let's make the show we want to make. And not that we didn't know what the show was going to be when we were like selling it. We never imagined it would be what it is today. But like it wasn't I'm just saying we didn't go in there like twirling our mustaches like, how do we sell them a bad a bad bag of goods. But it was definitely a good way to like, give it an malleable kind of onset.
Yeah. Which episode would you guys say is where you really found your footing and you're like, okay, this is the show we're making, not just the idea that we pitched?
Evan, you go.
I think it was, I mean, we've talked about this and it's like, I think we were saying 207, or excuse me,
107.
107, which was the one, the 0.1%, where they go on the yacht. And that was like really, I think, where we started thinking about how expansive we could be with the storylines and the comedy. And it was really it was an episode where we were kind of like, searching for the boundaries,
Agree.
And after that, I think we felt like we kind of had found something.
It was also kind of like I felt when we were writing the first season, the very early days, like a big hurdle for me personally was like, how, like, where are these characters on the financial spectrum? And if they're doing well and they're running a company, whether it's good or bad, whatever, they're fine. Like they're not people you normally would want to sympathize for. So it was like, how do you sympathize with these characters? Like, Succession does a great job of that, but like it was hard for me to figure out like, okay, if we're gonna write a show about kind of like rich corporate assholes, like selfish corporate assholes, like how are we going to find, and then for that, with that episode in particular, it was making them the underdog by their own standards, and like basically a victim of their own aspiration and ambition. They think they should be one of the billionaires on the boat, and those are the villains that won't let them in. And once we kind of found that, that really helped like clarify like, okay, who are the forces to overcome for these characters.
Speaking of forces to overcome, it's the Dennison family is like a huge like thorn on everyone's side. Do the Dennisons even see them as competition? Like, how did you guys decide to have these opponents? And is it really that they just enjoy messing with them? Like, why did you decide to have these kind of like warring companies of snacks?
I mean, I think it probably came initially from like a desperation of trying to find villains for these characters because of what I was just talking about. But like, I think first of all, they're my favorite characters to write for, the Dennisons. I love writing them. It's so much fun. But like, yeah, I mean, they don't think of them as they think of them as competition in that like they're so ruthless in that like nobody can have success but us. Like that's how the Dennisons think. So like if they get any sense that there's like Royal Crackers has something or anybody, they have to take it away and like they have to rip it out of their hands. They're just that vicious of a fictional corporation that like, you know, not it's not a portrayal of corporations generally at all. Corporations are great and always do the right thing. And David Zaslav, shout out.
Yes. I want to talk a little bit about the character Theo, because I feel like I would know him in the sense of he watched TRL, he always voted for corn. What happened like 20 years later? Like, where did that come from? Because the references and even like the music he talks about seems very accurate, and he seems to be very much stuck in this time period and won't let it go. Like, it feels very personal.
I don't know where that came from. No, I listen, I used to watch TRL. I was a teeny bopper kid. I watched MTV every day because I was a loser and had nothing else to do. And I think Theo is, as they all are, all the characters are, a version of me in which like, just what if that kid just never grew up or like never had any, like, what if I just remained that kid and what was kind of like, what if I just remained a voice of the environment that I was in and didn't like, you know, expand beyond that. Like, I think that's what Theo's informed by, because like he is to me like the embodiment of like Northern California, like just 4x4 driving. Like I think we all do. We all know that guy. He's not just in Northern California. He's everywhere in this country. And I
and
feel
he's
like
also
I'm rambling.
Yeah, he's also so delusional. You know, he's like the kid that was like played high school football and like had success at it, and now is like stuck there in his head and forever will be like the wide receiver from the football team. Like, what are you talking about? I play wide receiver on the football team. It's like, well, that was 20 years ago. You know,
Uncle Rico in
yeah,
Napoleon
exactly.
Dynamite. Dude, my favorite line in that movie, how much you want to bet I could throw a football over them mountains, is like the funniest fucking line maybe ever. It's so funny.
Yeah. If Theodore Sr. could talk, what do you think he would actually say? Seth, I feel like you kind of have thought of this before.
Well,
Go ahead, Seth.
I just feel like he would be so profoundly disappointed, just in all of them, like in every single one of their choices. He may just like want to murder them all. I think he would just be so bummed.
I feel like he's trying to go each episode, that it's like he is trying to find the escape, but no one seems to be listening, that like, I cannot be in this house anymore. Like, put me in a nursing home, do whatever. I gotta go.
I know. How funny would it be if like he went to heaven and then his family shows up? I think he's just looking for some sweet escape. And
you lost me at go to heaven.
Yeah, or hell.
And then his family shows up and he's like, oh, get me out of here.
I feel like that's what season two, we spend more time in the past with young Senior and really get to kind of get to the depths of his cravenness even more, and really see how that informed the family present day. But also I think it helps you understand how like what he's going through now and how miserable he is Like, it's earned. He deserves that.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't wait to see that play out. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I can't wait to talk to you more about this show and other projects.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you.